evening. Chief Scott Booth, City of Roanoke Police Chief. Earlier today, December 3rd, 2023, police responded to the 1600 block of Lawrence Avenue Southeast at approximately 11:30 a.m. for a well-being check of an individual. Officers located an adult male victim with what appear to be critical stab wounds in the residence. Roanoke Fire and EMS pronounced the man deceased on scene. It's unknown exactly when the homicide occurred, but is believed to have been as early as midweek of this previous week. At this time, I'm unable to identify the victim as we are in the process of making notifications of next of kin. Later today, December 3rd, 2023, officers were seeking to interview and locate a suspect in that same homicide that had occurred on Lawrence Avenue. At approximately 4 p.m., officers observed the suspect in that homicide. I believe earlier we talked about that being a person of interest. That is our one and only suspect in the homicide, walking in the 3000 block of Melrose Avenue Northwest, and attempted to stop the man to speak with him. The suspect immediately produced a firearm, and shots were exchanged between several Roanoke police officers and the suspect. One Roanoke police officer was struck by gunfire. That officer was transported to Lewis Gale Medical Center by Roanoke Fire and EMS for treatment of what appeared to be serious and life-threatening injuries. The suspect was also struck by gunfire and was pronounced deceased by Roanoke Fire EMS personnel at the scene. There is body camera video that captured the incident. I have personally viewed that video, and it shows that our officers acted heroically when they approached the suspect from that homicide, and he fired upon our officers. I will not be releasing the names of the officers at this time. We'll do so at a later date after they had the opportunity to ensure their families are aware of the incidents. In accordance with department policy, the Virginia State Police were notified and will be investigating the officer-involved shooting incident. We, the Roanoke City Police Department, will continue to investigate the homicide incident from Lawrence. The officers involved will be placed on administrative leave per department policy. Virginia State Police will be releasing further updates to this investigation, at least as it involves the officer-involved shootings. So, I'll take any questions. Limited number of questions from y'all.
Is the officer still at Lewis Gale? Can you answer that?
So, yes, she is still there. She was recently released from surgery and still in critical condition, but she is doing much better. Thank you for asking. Much better than we initially thought.
Chief Booth, I was wondering, why was the community not made aware of the homicide that happened earlier that led to this suspect being on scene here at the Melrose Towers?
You know, Isabel, I don't have a great answer for that. You know, that's probably something maybe we need to work on. I know that we developed a person of interest very early on. All right, we believe that that person was connected to our victim, so possibly that's one of the reasons. And then we will do better in the future. We knew that it was not a random act, and there was no public safety nexus there.
Do you know the name of the man that was shot dead here?
White male, 39 years of age. That's all I can release right now.
Now, you said there was body cam footage. Will that be released at any point?
We'll determine that at a later date. Like I said, we're working this with our Virginia State Police partners.
And how many shots were fired within?
I don't have the number of shots. Several.
Who called in the well-being check?
I believe it was a neighbor. Don't entirely. I know you're quoting me on it because obviously I'm talking to you, but it was somebody that was connected to the actual victim that was found. So officers found the victim in that deceased state.
Can you share any details? I know again it's under investigation by Virginia State Police. Can you share any details if the officer who was seriously injured, if she was the one who fired the gun?
Yeah, I can't, you know, because it's so early on, and, you know, there was body-worn camera footage that I did review. I wanted to do that before I came out here and talk to y'all. But I will say this, is I am very proud of how our officers acted, and I believe that will come out in the Virginia State Police investigation. This is a very sad and traumatic day for our community and for members of our department, but as a new chief, I've been here about 35-ish days now, to realize that I lead a department that can take fire like that and still act heroically. I witnessed officers rendering life-saving techniques to our officer and potentially saving a life there. So, you know, once again, very proud of how they kept their coolness under fire. Horrible incident that happened to our officers in our community. I never want that to happen. I hate to stand up here before you and talk about this, but the review of the footage showed me that I have a lot to be proud of.
And I know sorry.
No, go ahead.
I know it's early in the investigation. Do we know how the original homicide victim who was stabbed to death and this person who was shot over here by officers, how they kind of relate?
Yeah, we do, and I'm not going to, because the next of kin haven't been notified for both of those parties, I believe. I can't reveal that, but it is a strong connection there, and that's another reason why early on we realized once we developed our person of interest, there wasn't a threat to public safety.
So it wasn't random?
Correct, it wasn't a random incident.
Chief Booth, I know that this is one of the first officers being hurt in the line of duty in recent times that we've heard of. Can you talk a little bit about that and how your department is doing?
Yeah, and once again, Isabella, good question. Thank you. You know, there's a level of compassion with that question, I think, and sometimes we forget about officers every day that come to work in a community with so many opportunities, but some challenges, right? And we see one of them as a police officer when you put on your vest and uniform and your badge, and this can happen. And I talked to the shift about an hour ago, and I met with the officers involved in this and have been to the hospital and connected with everybody involved. And, you know, one word comes to mind, and it's really heroic. And I am one that I will tell you as a police chief, I can be sometimes critical on our profession. I look at myself as consistently and constantly trying to find ways that we can improve ourselves, because I think the community deserves that. But you know, what I've seen is really the best of the best. I've seen officers that came in here on their days off just so they could help their shift, so they could help their department. We've got members of our sheriff's office out here helping us at this scene. I don't think you see that in every community, so I'm so proud to be the chief here and to see a department that's rallying around, you know, not just an officer that was shot in the line of duty, but the entire department and for what they're going through. So very, very happy with that.
Chief Booth, have you been able to connect with the officer's family?
I have, yeah, and I stayed at the hospital. I went to the hospital first, and I did talk to the family members, and they were certainly they were concerned about their loved one, but we have had an outpouring of support early on, as we should, when an officer is injured in the line of duty. So I think they felt that. I hope they felt that, and we'll continue to show them that for sure.